A dark, magical college for adults, full of ghosts and curses, and all other kinds of madness. Well, welcome to the Cursed Academy, my friends. Today, we're gonna play and check out Tangled Blessings. Let's break it down. Well, hi, hello, everybody. My name is Turk. Welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Yeah, around here, we all different kinds of weird TTRPG things, but today we're checking out Tangled Blessings by Cassie Mothwin. This is pretty exciting. It is a solo RPG that uses tarot cards, and we actually have two books because we actually have the expansion for it as well, which hopefully we're going to delve into a little bit today. Now, before I tell you what we're going to do today, I want to give a big shout out to our friend Cassie Mothwin for sending these books over to us for the purposes of making some video content. They actually sent them to me last month, but I didn't get enough time to be able to cover them, so we're finally covering them now. And I also want to say, hopefully, maybe one day we can get Cassie Mothwin on the channel for an interview because they have a YouTube channel of their own, and I would love to talk to them about these awesome books that they have developed. If you want to see that happen, make sure to leave a like here on this video. If there's enough interest, maybe she'll decide to say yes. Now, of course, there will be links to get these books down in the description for your convenience, so you can get over there and clickety-clack on them links if you want to get these books for yourself. But also, YouTube jibber jabber, my friends, make sure to click like and subscribe and all the other shenanigans to help support the show. I think, maybe today or tomorrow, we'll be passing 5K subscribers, and I really just want to say thank you for helping get me there. So much growth in the past 2 months has been crazy, so I really do appreciate it. And also, I want to thank my Ko-Fi subscribers and, of course, my YouTube channel members. Without your guys' support, some of this stuff wouldn't happen, so really thank you so much for the support. Now, what are we going to do today, Turkey? Well, hopefully, we can read through these books, I can teach you how to play them and show you what they have to offer, and then we're going to do us a little bit of an actual play of them, all right? This video, depending on how the recording goes today, may be a little bit long, all right? And if it is, I'll make sure to include timestamps so you can feel free to get what you want out of this video, or you can watch and hang out through the whole thing, all right? Could be friggin' awesome. But yes, we're gonna read the books and then we're gonna actually play the books. And then of course, at the end, I'm gonna do a little bit of a review to tell you what I think about these things. And of course, if you want a full text, detailedly written review, you can check it out on my website. There will be a link in the description. Sweet. To the top-down camera. All right, here we are. We have Tangled Blessings. We have, of course, our tarot cards. And, of course, we also have our solo journal that we've been using over here the course of 2026. All of the little solo things that we have been doing, all the little one-shots, are all going into this journal for 2026. Everything. If you pick me up something from my wish list, your name's going in here, anything else like that. And I've also been kind of going through it, and I'm adding in pictures even after the games are over, just because I want to, make it a little bit special. Something fun to look over. Because once this bad boy is full, we're actually going to do a review of it right here on the channel. Speaking of that, I actually have these awesome stickers that Cassie sent over with their book that we're actually going to get to include and put here into our solo journal. I might save this one and put it somewhere else. We'll see. But for now, we're just going to set that right. And of course, these are the Daydream Tarot deck. If you want these for yourself, I also will leave a link down in the description. That will be an affiliate link, just so you know, so you can help support the show by getting them. But I like these cards a lot because they actually have fun art on them that are a little bit inspiring. And I feel for solo games, you need inspiring art on your cards. You can't just have Game of Thrones tarot cards because they really won't be that inspiring. So I really love the fun art on these. So these are what we're going to be using today. Now, of course, before we also get into this, I feel like it goes without saying to say that there will obviously be some comparisons to the big popular, magical college movie TV show series that has been out in the world. And I was a huge fan of that series, all right? I really was. As you can tell, I've got me cool little wand that I actually got from the Adventure Park place that they have here in California. But this book is very cool and unique in its own way because Cassie has kind of built their own darkened world here. And this is also a magical college for adults, which I think is fun. I have done a Kids on Brooms game. It was kind of similar with magical colleges, and I really enjoyed that. You can check it out. It was a group campaign. It's here on the channel. But one of my favorite actual plays that someone else has done was actually by the Adventure Zone, and it was their magical college campaign. That's my top of all time actual play podcast campaign is that one. So I'm really into this magical college theme. I think that there's something about it that just makes it really unique and fun and yeah. So without any other further jibber jabber, let's get into it. So firstly, we're just going to be reading through the main book here. Again, this is an expansion book that you do not necessarily need, but it does include some extra things and some extra rival prompts and stuff like that for you to use, which we'll talk about in a sec. So right here in the front, we have some roll charts. These are fun roll charts because they actually deal with tarot cards. So depending on the card that you pull depends on the prompt here. And these are your previous lives, years as a ghost, where it haunts. These are like ghost generators, and this is creature generators that you can use in your game. Kind of fun. I'm a sucker for a good roll chart. You guys know that. All right, Tangled Blessings. In dreams I've called to you, in ruin I wait. From Echoes of a Lost Place by Sir Steph R. Mary, found hidden in the walls of Brackroot Academy. See, there's like this, she made her own lore for this world, and I think it's just so cool. And reading through it, you will kind of get to see that. I don't know how much I'll be able to show off today, but if you get this book yourself, like I did, spend some time with it. I just was reading it just at work and just kind of enjoying this world and this lore that Cassie has put together. It's kind of really cool. And this is like this book needs to be returned to the library kind of thing. Date due. It's really fun. But anyways, by Cassie Mothwin. This book here is dedicated to Joshua, Neptune, and Mercury. May we be study buddies for life. Very cool. Then we have all of the credits here for all the art that Cassie has used and everything else like that. Just fantastic. This game was made in memory of Nemesis by Samantha Ling of Blinking Birch Games. It's very cool. I think that I read a little bit. This is, it's kind of like an homage to that in a way. And I think that's very. So also, I don't remember on which page it was, but there's also like a suggestion to use Dark Academia music while you play. So I'm sure there's some playing for you guys. I hope that it really sets the vibe for sure. This is the map. It's very nice here. The map of the world. It's very nice. Okay, author's note. So this definitely goes into the fact that Dark Academia books do have foundations in racism, white idealism, classism, and ableism, but this book is not intended to do that in any way, right? The setting for this game is a vibrant work of fiction, and while it may call upon the visual aesthetic of prominent Western and Eurocentric universities, it does not seek to celebrate, exploit, labor, or slavery. Further, it does not seek to platform exclusivity by exam scores or board decisions. Folks from all backgrounds walk these grounds with an array of interests beyond Europe and United States. They belong here, and they are not lesser. We love it. Very well done, Kat. Whenever I was reading this, I had no idea that Dark Academia had that kind of stuff going on, but the fact that you put it in here is kind of like, that's a little bit of awareness for me, so, awesome stuff. Awesome sauce, my friend. And there's a whole list of further readings on those subjects, which is very good. Now we have our content warnings. This is a horror game that explores harmful areas of academia. You will find them like dark magic rituals, claustrophobia, murder, death, violence, depression, suicidal thoughts, and ideation, isolation, and self-harm. So just be aware of that. I try to keep things as light-hearted as I can here on the channel. If something like that comes up or I get a vision like that in my head, I'll let you know to skip forward before, for sure. Also, while we're reading through this, I want to say now, I probably should have said it earlier, there will be timestamps, and this is one of those games where you pull cards and read prompts, and then you use those prompts to help shape your world and kind of what your character goes through, which means that there could potentially be some spoilers for you, okay? Chances of you getting different prompts and putting them in a different way than me are pretty high, but if you're worried about those spoilers, there will be timestamps you could use. So we're going to talk about what this game is, and then of course you could skip the actual play to the review at the end if you want to. What is Tangled Blessings? In this game, you take on the role of a student at a mysterious and magical academy for adults. You're finishing your last year, and in fewer than 24 hours, you'll face your rival in one last exam. Before graduation, as you prepare and study, you'll reflect on the previous years at Brackroot Academy, the lessons you've learned, your experiences, your failures, your friendships, and your secret. Your entire future hinges on this exam, and should your rival overcome you, you'll lose access to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Tangled Blessings is a solo journaling or two-player role-playing game featuring a wizarding school, ghosts, rivals, houses, and curses. You should be able to play in one sitting, but if you really enjoy exploring the prompts, you can spread out your play session. There's a natural break between each year of school. To play, you need a deck of tarot cards. If you're playing alone, you'll need a way to record your entries. A Dark Academia playlist may also help set the mood. If you're new to tarot cards, it's recommended you avoid tarot cards with minimal artwork. You may find those decks hard to draw ideas from. It's kind of funny because I feel like I said that. yeah, and also, yeah, absolutely, very good stuff. So we'll see how much we're going to get through today. I'm going to play for as long as I'm inspired to do so. I do think the expansion actually has, in between years, you can do like a winter break little expansion thing. So it actually makes this game longer than one setting if you get the expansion, which I think is kind of fun. You might be able to get 2 or 3 sessions out of this if you do it the right way. Then we have a little bit of explanation on how to play a role-playing game, which I think is good sometimes in case this book was like found on a library shelf and people don't really understand how to do it. I think that that's fantastic, but we're pretty experienced, so we'll go ahead and move forward a little bit. Then we have a full page of role-playing tips, of course. Roll, invent students, use your imagination, let your game flow, which of course it's kind of fantastic. And then we have a little bit more of lore here on this other page, which of course we're going to read through. From the desk of Headmaster Elvis to our future student, it is with great pleasure that I'm writing to inform you of your acceptance into the halls of Brackroot Academy. This is likely the first time you've heard of our noble academy, and that is not by mistake. Brackroot Academy is a long-established school for adults showing a natural aptitude for the arcane and unseen. We do not choose choose students based on applications or standardized tests. Instead, we rely on an ancient gem attuned to the esoteric properties of what laymen might call magic. The stone's origins are unknown, but it reveals students from across the world who possess a connection to the supernatural. Recently, it showed us your image. Should you accept this invitation, you'll have a month to tie up any loose ends. Our academy is a 4-year commitment, offering summer and winter breaks. You'll receive a full scholarship that includes room and board, healthcare and meals, as well as a small allowance for personal expenses to improve your quality of life. You're also entitled to a domestic pet. While here, you'll refine your sixth sense, gaining access to spells, rituals, enchantments, portals, and many other aspects you likely thought only possible in fiction. Should you wish to hear more, simply open the journal and write, "The path the Brackroot calls to me." If you do that, I'll invite you on a tour so that you can see the grounds and ask questions of what is expected of you. The only requirement is that you keep Brackroot Academy a secret. We can help you establish a cover story, along with more complicated paperwork. We so hope to hear from you. May the clouds part at your whim. Dr. Eamon Elvis. Any pronouns. Headmaster, Brackroot Academy. Sitting chair, foundation to the recondite arcane. And as I read through this, I keep saying Brackroot Academy, and I think it's because in one of my other D&D games, there was a Brackroot Castle, and so I keep saying Brackroot instead of Brackroot. So if I do that, I apologize. Just know that it's Brack with an R. Brackroot Academy. The speaking gem calls to you. Nestled in the shadow of the surrounding mountains is Brackroot Academy, a centuries-old institution built around the speaking gem. The history of the speaking gem is hazy and unreliable, but some stories suggest it used to call the pilgrims in dreams. By the time a pilgrim reached the speaking gem, they were weary and old and without any resources to understand why the speaking gem called. The speaking gem also inspired ghost stories, alleging that the gem was cursed, and to dream of it meant one's demise was on the horizon. Many perished on their trek through the wilderness to the speaking gem, and none ever returned. If anyone made it to the speaking gem without dying, they were awakened, suddenly able to call upon the magic in the air. It took decades for a small village to take root at the speaking gem, and longer for Brackroot Academy to fully be realized. After centuries of study, scholars have unlocked the power within the speaking gem and understand how to harvest abilities otherwise out of reach. With generations of study behind them, these scholars are willing to teach you. It's kind of cool. Like I said at the top, this book has a whole world of lore in it that Cassie's put together, and it's fantastic. It's nothing like anything else, right? It stands on its own, and I think that that's cool. It's very cool. So Brackroot Academy and the rest of this magical universe are carefully hidden from the normal world, the planes or those without access to the arcane. There is a whole society of magic users around the world, and you've been invited to join. Within this magical society, you'll find that turmoil, secrets, stolen power, envy, regret, alliances, and pawns all coexist. For now, you're just a student, but at the end of your studies, you may find yourself wrapped up in more than you bargained. And then we have the map. It's pretty fantastic. We got number 1, this is the House of Celestial. 2 is the House of Dahlias. 3 is the House of Panthers, or is way up here. 3, House of Panthers. 4 is the House of Sprites, which looks like it's inside the castle. Same with House of Elements, and Brackroot Academy is all within the castle. Then number 7 is the Chapel in the Graveyard, is over here. We have the Forbidden Forest. Of course we do. That's 9. That's the Whispering Lake. So the Forbidden Forest is just all right here. That's cool. Very sweet. Of course we have a Forbidden Forest. I like this map a lot. If I was running another TTRPG campaign in a magical world, I would adopt this map because it's pretty sweet. I mean, very well done, Cassie. It's very cool. Start here. Consider who your character was before they joined Brackroot Academy. The speaking gym usually calls to adults in their early 20s, but you may adjust that to fill your idea of who attends. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to be in our 20s. 21, 22, something like that. I have zero idea. My first conceptual idea was to do Willy in his 20s. I was going to do Willy the Wizard. But the thing about this is that it's a modern world, right? And so he's a fantasy character, so I can't necessarily do a modern character. So as we play through this, I may use some of the roll charts and other kinds of stuff to kind of build a character, right? We'll see how it goes. Anyways, answer these questions. What is your name and your pronouns? How did you receive the letter from the headmaster? What loose ends did you have to tie up? What do you hope to gain by becoming a mage? And how did the speaking gem talk to you in your dreams? And then we get to determine our house assignment. It's so cool. I love that so much. And then we get to discover our rival. So let's think here for a sec. Student generate, faculty and staff generate. So who do we want to be in this world? I think it might be a good way to just start by, in this here book, Tangled Blessings, Echoes of Lost Elective. We actually have a roll chart for names, and it might be good to just start with names, and then we can kind of decide that from there. Maybe we can build out a personality just from a name, huh? And I haven't taken the Major Arcana out of here yet, but if I will, of course, in a second, because I think the roll charts don't use that. Just a little bit of a shuffle. First card, yeah, Major Arcana. Next card, the One of Cups. So we can either be Lucian or Dorian. So do we want to be a male or a female? I don't want to tiptoe over any lines, so let's go with Lucian. Let's be a guy. And Lucian kind of sounds a little bit evil. Just gonna be real with you. I want to double check and see if there was character sheets in here. If they are, they're usually in the bag. If not, I'm just going to write it in my journal. Looks like there's not, and that's okay. So, we begin our journal. We are Lucius. No, we are Lucian. That's fair. Lucius Battleboy. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's write it in. Lucian. And then we'll draw for our surname. And we have 2 different lines of surnames, which is cool. But let's just go for this one. Let's see here. The 2 of cups. What in heck? That's crazy. So surname Tremaine or Reed. Lucian Reed. Kind of like that. And it says, the generator tables at the front and back of this book were created by Kat, the lore mistress. She made the tables as part of a community event called Game Jam. That's cool. Tangled community. So you did a game jam for Tangled Blessings? That's fantastic. Tangled Blessings music playlist curated by Samantha Lee is also here. That's cool. We might have to... Hey, Turkey editing later. Turkey editing later. If you're looking for the Dark Academia music, maybe use this right here, my friend. Maybe use that bad boy. I don't know. That's up to you, though. Okay, Turkey editing later. Very well done. Did he use it? I don't know. If it's copyright free, maybe. All right, moving on. Basically means we're going to shuffle a little. And also, if you can't tell, I feel like I got my lights a little bit dimmer than usual, at least for the table. Because, I like to set vibes while I like to play with tactile stuff, and I like to set vibes. I almost lit some candles from cantrip candles that they sent me, but I'm saving those for another game. But I like to set vibes. And whenever you're doing your solo plays, I always suggest you do the same, Because it's about the full experience. And you should always treat yourself better than you would treat players in a actual group. You know what I mean? All right. Cool. So how did we receive the letter from the headmaster? Whoops. What is kind of a classic way to do it? This is modern day, right? So maybe Lucian Reed was in an Uber to his job, working part-time somewhere, not fulfilling his dreams, feeling like he was meant for something more in this world, but just going to work fast food like he always does to pay the bills. And the Uber driver just turned to him and said, "Hey, I have a letter for you," before he got out of the car. And Lucian's like, "What? That's crazy. A letter?" And he takes it from the Uber driver and it has his name on it. He's like, "What?" Maybe this is some kind of like gift certificate from Uber because they take Uber every day. But he opens it and then he reads the letter and realizes this, what's going on. So the got letter from Uber. So then the things that he has to tie up, his loose ends, he goes into his job and he quits on the spot. He's like, "I'm up for better things. Screw you guys. Screw you, screw you, screw you. You're cool. I'm out of here." So he quits his job and he hopes to just be more than what he is. So question 3 is, what do you hope to gain by becoming a mage? He just wants to be more. He always felt like he had a bigger destiny, like laid out in front of him, but he just didn't know how to accomplish it. He didn't know what he was meant for. Nothing ever interested him, So he's just like, that's it. How did the speaking gym talk to you in your dreams? So obviously that's with that as well. Maybe he had dreams of like flying and dreams of like helping people and dreams of like all kinds of things that were like way bigger than himself, which might be important. So we might want to write that down for later. And all that was just off the top of my head. See, sometimes you don't need roll charts. I think that sometimes these games can be really good creative exercises to just think about stuff and just kind of run with it, A lot of times I deal too much with roll charts. I love roll charts, but sometimes just do the things, It's good. Okay, moving on. How to play. Separate the tarot cards into 5 decks. The 22 major arcana, wands, pinnacles, cups, and swords. Set the major arcana aside and shuffle the 4 minor arcana decks, wands, pinnacles, cups, and swords. All right, let's do that. Major's coming out. Okay, then we got to the minor and we got to the major. Very good. Now we get to determine our house assignment. This is very exciting stuff. The houses are not enemies, but they require each other to operate in harmony. Despite this, conflict does arise, sometimes with violent ends. Students learn their houses by touching the speaking gem and sharing aloud the symbol it shows them. It's possible to lie about what you see, but the speaking gem will always know. Place minor arcana cards, 1 through 5, in a small pile and shuffle them. Pull 1 card to learn which house you've been assigned. The house descriptions tell you a bit about the students who usually reside within them. You may find your character fits or rebels against the listed marks. That's fine. I think it's going to teach us a little bit more about our character. Once you've learned your house, return the card and shuffle the small pile again. Pull another card to determine your rival's house. You'll learn more about your rival in the next section. Once finished, combine all the major arcana cards together and shuffle them. Once finished, put all the major arcana cards in with the minor? What do you mean? Separate the tarot cards into 5 decks. Oh, I see. The 22 major arcana, then wands, pinnacles, cups, and swords. Set the major arcana deck aside and shuffle the 4 minor arcana cards. Not together, just shuffle them in general. Place major arcana cards 1 through 5 in small roll. That's what it says. That's fine. So as you can see, these cards are cool. Not a lot of tarot cards I've noticed have this, but a lot of them actually have the numbers at the top, which helps me because I don't have them memorized. But like the Emperor is number 1. The Fool is 0, which I think the Fool actually goes over there. We have the Magician. That's wands. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we shuffle just these 5. It's cool. I mean, I could just roll a D6, you know, or a D4 plus 1 or something like that. I guess there really isn't a proper way to do a D5, so this is kind of neat. Totally works. Oh, and also I should say before we roll for our house, in this here expansion book, there are expanded houses. So adding the new houses, if you would like, I don't know if we're gonna play with the expanded houses because I want this to be a simple, do you know what I mean, playthrough just for video, right? I think personally, I may come back and do one by myself with all the expanded rules where I can take my time and, you know what I mean, spend more time doing it. But I still want to talk about it. So adding the new houses, if you'd like to play with the new houses, add major arcana cards 6 and 7 to your small pile when you first start the game. To ensure your rival don't end up in the same house, the first person who draws keeps their card out of the pile. Yes, how to use the houses, very good. And there is, there's a little bit more about the reinstated house. So it's the House of None and the House of the Divine. So this is hidden beneath the campus chapel and graveyard. This house annexed centuries ago for blatant misuse of dark magic. And then the House of None is accessible by walking off the edge of a bridge in the right spot between lamps on campus. Students in the House of None often think of themselves beyond reality. These thoughts only worsen the more they understand magic, cosmic, atomic scale. Crazy, we love it. And also instead of the 5 house, it's 7 house, 7 sided. It's kind of, but I just want to see if there's anything else maybe we could use here. We have the common student tropes once again here in ND's pages. Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check, but we can actually skip over to prompts that are in this book instead. So maybe after our first year or something, we'll come over here. So basically after the expanded houses and the winter break that I mentioned earlier, it also just has full on new prompts for years 1 and 2 for all of the houses. Each one of them has a new set of prompts. And each one of the prompts though is represented by 2 different cards. So there isn't a bunch of prompts, but there's like a new set. And then we actually also have winter break. And then we have prompts for the winter break. It's kind of fun. So it's kind of the same exact gameplay loops. Winter break now, cool. And then we have some more 2-player prompts. For the 2-player prompts, assign yourselves a nick, kind of cool. Because this is a 2-player game. I think I mentioned this in my update video, but I actually take these books with me to work because I had to find time to read them, you know what I mean? And I was reading them at work. I was working an event, like out like a market, and the person next to me was a friend of mine. He seen me reading it and he was like, what's that? And I actually told him, and I was like, this is a 2-player game. So like you and your partner could play this game together. And he was like, oh dude, that's sick. He actually took a picture of it because they like to play 2-player together. And I think that's, and we have some alternate 3rd year events as well, which maybe we'll reference once we get over here. And then we have more endings, which can make things a little bit more, all right, but that's that. Keep it in mind. Now we're on to the fun bits, huh? Let's draw for our house. We have our 5 cards here. Which one shall we choose? I kind of want to take the middle one. We have the 2. What is Lucian Reed's house? The House of Dahlias. I'm going to hate saying it, really. Dahlias rely on the energy of celestial bodies for growth and endurance. As a vibrant flower, dahlias are a symbol of elegance and devotion. The plant may seem abundant, but it requires careful nurturing, wet and cold climate of Brackroot. Students in this house often carry 1 or more of these marks: creativity, perfectionism, or obsessive. This dorm is connected to the greenhouse. Wow, sounds a lot like creative and obsessed. Makes a lot of sense. Celestials is discipline, passion, and indifference. And I like that they use those words. It's actually kind of cool because, you know, in the other one, you think a lot about what is. The House of Panthers is observation, punctuality, or ruthlessness. Ooh. The House of Spires, empathy, isolation, or judgment. And number 5, the House of Elements is cleverness, hunger, or negligence. Pretty sweet. And we have our 5 house stickers here: Celestials, Dahlias, Panthers, Elements, Spire. And we actually have their colors. We can see stickers here. Cool. Part of me wants to put the stickers over top, some little bit of color on there, but I want to put it in my book. So we're in the House of Dahlia, which is the flower. Kind of neat. And this is sick. Wonder why it has six house. Celestial. Oh, there's 7, so it actually includes the 2 expansions. Well, cool. And you know what? Since the other 2 houses are kind of a little bit evil, why don't we can include 6 and 7 when we pull for our rival with that sticker. Dude, a pencil sharpener. So that's going to tell us a little bit more about our character as well. We are creative, we're a perfectionist, and we're obsessed with things. So it's going to tell us a little bit about, and I put that in here, so I know. Very good. Cool, so we're going to pull over to our rival now. Draw a card from the Major Arcana deck. This card represents your rival. Consult the rival list, the art on the card you drew, and any tarot guides you value to learn more about who your rival is and what drives it. Then we need to give them a name and everything else, but we're going to pull for their house first. So we're actually going to add in, we're going to keep the 2 out so they can't end up in our house, but we're going to put in 6, 7, just in case. And if they get a 6 or a 7, then it could be evil guy, you know? All right, now you, chat, tell me which one to pull. Go ahead, chat. Which one? Oh, second to the right? All right. That's the 7. Wow, chat, you done did good, didn't you? Good work. That is the chariot. 7. So they're going to be in a expansion house. Oh, there's more in the beginning of this. I think I skipped over it a little, which is good because we aren't to the actual play yet. We're still learning how to play, so learn a little bit. So what's inside of the expansion in total? The rival relationship rule set, cults, expanded houses, winter break, alternate third year, twisted endings, and tables, front and end matter. Very good. So there is some stuff about cults in here that could change the way you experience the school. It's going to add a little bit more of complications into it. And so I don't think I'm going to be using them today. But there are like cults, like things going on in the world and in the school and stuff like around there. Adds in more intrigue. If you're interested, it's kind of cool. Not sure where to start. We got a whole little roadmap here that I think is very cool. And then we have the rival relationship rule set, which I guess we should probably use. So I'm actually going to draw us a little map. Looks horrible and I hate it. I'm almost half tempted to just like cut this out, but I don't want to because there's cool art on the other side and put it in my journal, you know? Okay, so we're gonna start in standard. So basically you start with one of these here and you can see that the further around you go, the more that the rival likes you, the more that they hate you. All right, so would die for you or once you dead is kind of the two different sides of the spectrum. So we're gonna start in standard. We also have dislike and we also have a little bit of chaotic we just start with. But we're gonna start in standard. And since I drew it in pen, I'm actually gonna use my pencil. I'm just gonna kind of fill in this halfway point of, and then I'll erase or add more. But the rules for this are, in standard play, your rival starts indifferent. Create a tracker with 22 nodes. I hope there's not. That you can mark and erase. You can use the clock example on the following page. When you draw a major arcana card for a prompt, check to see if its Roman numeral is higher or lower than your current tracker number. If it's the same, nothing happens. If the major arcana you drew is higher than the tracker, describe how the prompt improves your relation. If it's lower, describe how it harms your relation. And if you draw the Fool, draw another major arcana card and fill in or erase 2 sections, depending on if it's higher or lower. So at the end of this, we could become best friends with a rival, or they could absolutely hate us. And that's kind of another fun little way to do the thing. And also here's an example of how to add cults to your story. I don't want to skip over that too much, but there is a full-on list of cults here that you draw on. They're kind of like a random roll chart. It's kind of cool. And then of course, they each have their own description. So there's a few of them. Then we're into the expanded. All right, so ADHD, where were we? The chariot, cool. I make myself. Number 7, which makes our rival in the House of Divines. Technically, it's not numbered, but I'm just gonna assume that it is the House of Divine. Here we go. Our rivals in the House of Divines. Hidden beneath the campus chapel and graveyard, this house was annexed centuries ago for blatant misuse of dark magic. Some stories claim this house serves as the birthplace for demons and vampires. Whatever the reason for the house's eradication, bloodstains remain in its foundation. 9 levels of rooms and storage. Students in this house are often vengeful, patient, and not above harming others to get what they want. Symbols commonly associated with this house include blood, fruit, teeth, bones, claws, and horn. Okay, so our rivals in the House of the Divines and Evil Bad. Good. Okay, copy that. And I want to read a little more about common student tropes. So, Delias frequently create fantastic works of poetry and art while at Brackroot Academy, and after they leave, their passion for their work far outweighs their interest in friends or relationships. They long to leave a legacy worth remembering. It's starting to sound more and more like me. That's why. All right, in the House of the Divines, divines are those who have fallen from grace, or maybe they have never gotten to begin with. They find joy when others suffer. Though they might never admit it, they are prone to outbursts and famously know every detail about anyone they meet. Divines do not often enter society after they finish schooling. They move on to other realms to celebrate their appetites. Wow, okay, here we are. And so if you're playing with 2 people, there wouldn't be a rival. There would just be both of you, right? And I think that that's super cool. Now, we're on back to the normal book. What we're going to do is we're going to put these cards back in, and we're actually going to draw random major arcana, then describe our rival a little bit. We know that they're crazy. We know that they're insane. We know that they have a thirst for blood. But how far is that blood going to take them, you know? I guess we'll see. All right, we're fully shuffled. Pick a card, chat. Which one? I'm just going to pull one from the middle. This one right here. This is going to resemble our rival. Oh, Judgment. Look at him. Judgment. I mean, that's fantastic. Okay. Give them a name and pronouns and think about your first encounter. Your rival is present in most of your memories at the Academy, coloring experiences with their hue. They joined the Academy the same time that you did, so keep the card that represents your rival face up next to you. Your rival doesn't have to be an enemy. They can be a best friend, a family member, a stranger, or even a love interest. Okay. Let's go back to our roll chart here. We're going to pull a card for our rival's name. That is the Knight. What is the Knight in numbers? Jeez. Well, that Google didn't help. Let's draw again. 0, the Fool. Can't use that one. Draw again. 4 of Cups. So, Xavier or Nikolai? Xavier. A bastard Xavier. I'm cool with that. Xavier. What is Xavier's last? We got the Queen, Willoughby, or Crowley. I like Crowley. Xavier Crowley. 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 All right, Xavier. We're going to keep this judgment card just out, I guess, huh? Okay, I have to do this properly as well. I have to actually separate them into the right deck. Join me while I separate the cards. Good time to just talk about how things are going. Things are going pretty good. And I think this is going to be a longer episode, so I'm hoping to just embrace that longer. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I've gotten a lot of comments from people saying that they actually hate how short my episodes are. I don't know, I just have YouTube on the brain, you know, attention spans and what have you. And, so I always try to cut things down as much but I hope you enjoy this longer episode. I'm hoping to still do them every once in a while, so if you are enjoying it, make sure to leave a like to let me know. If these longer episodes aren't for you, don't dislike, but let me know in the comments. That would help a lot. But I really do think this game is something special. And truthfully, last month I was like, I don't want to rush it. I was like, I might have a short amount of time to do it, but I didn't want to rush it. I wanted to take my time with it, especially because it's Cassie Mothwin's newer game. So I know they're promoting it a little bit more than the other one. And so I really just kind of wanted to take my time with it and enjoy it. So it's kind of what we're doing today. So a lot of times when I don't get to a game right away, it's usually because I want to be able to take my time and enjoy it and be patient with it. Okay, we're just going to put the... All right, there we have it. And we have his name. But now I feel like Xavier kind of just is short and angry with short, spiky black hair and a very pointy face, like a very pointy jaw, you know? Like just black. Angry little bastard, short. Definitely a short guy. Young 20s, you know? Maybe I'm in my older 20s. Maybe he's in his younger. Xavier Crowley. Our first encounter. Maybe we encountered each other. I'm wondering how we get to campus. That's kind of how I'm wondering. You know, definitely on the train, on the airplane maybe we took to get to wherever the school is. We encountered each other in travel and had to sit next to each other. And maybe right away just kind of realized that we had completely different beliefs. Like I want to create stuff and make cool creative stuff and make it look perfect. And old Xavier Crowley just wants to destroy stuff and eat stuff. We had completely different beliefs. So, us and our rival are both prodigies. You learned and attuned to magic teachings and instruments faster than our classmates and many who came before you. While you could work together, the Magical Society gave you both a challenge within your first weeks of classes. Whoever bests the other in a one-on-one exam at the end of your 4 years will ascend to a high status amongst the other mages. You'll never want for anything, and you'll be a well-respected and influential figure for years to come. Should you fail, your future isn't as certain. As a prodigy, you are afforded opportunities others might never have access to, and therefore you can assume you'll likely at least find a respectable position after graduation. There is something else to consider, though. You may attract the attention of more sinister forces. Think about your character. What's motivating them to win this challenge against their rival? Write down your answer. For a two-player game, you will be the other player's rival. You don't need to draw from the rival deck, and you can skip to page 22. Choose your speciality. Okay. What is pushing us to win? I think we just don't want Xavier to win. I think it's kind of like what it is. We're like, that guy just wants to destroy. If he gets put up in a higher position, he's going to destroy the school. And we believe in the school because it's teaching us how to be something more than what we are. You know, we don't want to work at a fry cook job. And so we want to be more than bigger than ourselves, you know, and we want to teach other people how to do the same. And we don't want Xavier to be in that position. We want to be a good leader for others when our time comes. We want to be in that position, you know? I think that's fair. Okay, rival list. Match the Roman numeral of the major arcana card you drew to the number in this list. What is it, 20? All right, it's 20. The naturally attuned. Your rival makes a great effort to go unnoticed, choosing the edges of rooms or corners to station themselves. They surprised everyone early on by announcing that there was a disturbance in the magical wards, and that the flow of power was off balance. While some instructors didn't take your rival seriously, others set out to investigate and found that several of the Academy's wards had been destroyed or possessed by creatures. Typically, only the original caster of a spell can tell that it's been disrupted. When asked how your rival knew about the ward issues, your rival said that they could feel a shift in energy without elaborating. Some students suggest your rival was the one who caused the creatures to be possessed in the first place. Wow. You bastard, Xavier. I'm gonna get you, you bastard. Choose your speciality. Choose an area of intuition or skill where you're always shine. Maybe you've never had a problem with pointing out poisonous plants. Maybe you can predict the words and melody of a song on the first listen. Maybe you've always felt like when you wish someone good luck, they actually do have better fortune. Maybe you've always found it easy to persuade a salesperson into giving you a discount. Maybe you always manage to buy the last item in stock, or maybe you're fantastic at painting portraits even though you've never taken an art class. Maybe you've never been sick. That is so many examples. Essentially, this is how magic manifested around you in the mundane world. You shaped something without knowing. Okay, so Lucy and Reed. Always felt like they were meant for something more. Maybe they're really good at leading people, right? So maybe at the fry cook job, like, they became a manager almost instantly. Even though they're like younger than other people working there and they weren't there as long, just somehow they just started leading everyone and trying to make things work better and operate better. Started teaching people how to do things at a better, efficient rate, just like right away. So maybe like leadership was just like their kind of like skill that they always had, even if they didn't like practice doing that or even didn't learn how to be a good leader, it just kind of came naturally. So maybe that's it. I'm just trying to tie something to the backstory, you know? The sequence. I think we're actually going to start playing soon, all right? So remember that. That's crazy, we haven't even started. There's so much to this game. That's crazy. Dude, my recording is an hour and a half long. We haven't started playing yet. That's what I'm talking about. You spent 4 years at the Academy. You recall memories using different decks. At the beginning of the year, draw 3 cards from its corresponding minor arcana deck: wands, cups, pinnacles, and swords. Place the 3 cards face down in front of you. Flip over the first card, read the prompt, draw 1 card from the major deck, and use the revealed card to inspire your response. Make a journal entry. Remember your rival. Flip over the next card, repeat the steps. Continue until you've made journal entries for all 3 cards. Write down which minor arcana card you drew. Draw 3 more minor arcana cards, and these are your rivals. Write down what you drew for your rival. You may explore their memories, but you're only required to note which cards you drew for them. Answer the prompts between years. Be careful not to skip them. Okay, that is our gameplay loop, which seems simple enough, I think. After you've read a prompt, draw a major arcana card. Use this card to answer the questions in the prompt. For example, a prompt might be the following. You were bruised and injured in a trading duel gone wrong. You struggled to find magic for several weeks. How did you cope with the loss? What mental block have you overcome to get your magic back? Who hurt you, and are you sure it was an accident? For this prompt, the major arcana you drew can represent a slew of factors. How the duel went wrong, how your character coped with the loss, how your character overcame their mental block, and who hurt your character, or if there's evidence the injury was on purpose. Why was that hard to read? You can try to answer one or all of these questions by looking at the card for inspiration. So you just look at the card for inspiration? I was hoping there'd be a major arcana prompt of some kind. Yeah, so use the artwork, use emotion, use the booklet included with your tarot card deck, use the internet. Still nothing? Draw another card. At the end of each year, shuffle the major cards back into the deck, except for the card that represents your rival. Okay, 2-player changes we have here. I'm not going to read through those, but you can check them out if you want to. That's right, pause, check them out if you want. Very good. The following pages will reveal your last 4 years at the Academy. As you explore how your years unfolded, keep the card that represents your rival. Use this card as a reminder that they're always there. Even if a prompt doesn't mention them, consider how they might have been there. You're studying for your final exam. You have a few hours before the trial, and you're doing your best to stay focused and remember the lessons that you have had the last few. Very good. Then we have a full solo play example. Pretty sick. It's kind of what we're doing today, so I'm not going to read through that. But I love when books include these. All right, and we're on to it, friends. Very exciting. So we need to remember a couple things. We need to remember our rival. We need to remember that we're at a neutral point with our rival as well. We're at 11. We're at a neutral spot. So if we draw above 11, so we're going to call 11 right there, we'll go up or down. So we got to remember that. We're also got to remember that we might flip over to this book if we want to while we're going. So our first year, yes, year 1. Let's write her down because we have to write down what cards we draw because that's important for later. Year 1 is wands. So let's shuffle up our wands card. Oh yeah, friends. Oh yes, this is exciting. We're finally playing. So if you don't want spoilers now, skip forward to the review section. That's it. All right, we do 3 cards. A 1, a 2, a 3. That's wands. This is our major arcana. So I'm going to shuffle this as well and just put one at the bottom. And it looked like in the example they used the 1 major arcana card for everything, but we can draw them as much as we want apparently. So what happens first? Let's see. 10 of wands. In our first year, you walked in on a housemate having lunch with their parents. You quickly learned that if a student's parents attended the academy, then they are welcome to visit the campus without need for secrecy. Are you jealous of the students who can be visited by loved ones? Who from your life before the academy do you wish you could show around? Which part of the campus do you think that they would like the most? What is our major card? The Magician. So the Magician in tarot, if I remember right, is creativity and potential to succeed. It means you have all the tools that you need to succeed. That's what it means. It's as above, so below, right? It's like everything is fine. Things are neutral and you can keep moving forward, right? And so I'm kind of thinking that if we walk in on some students having lunch with their parents, I don't think we're jealous at all. I think that we think that like we're here now and that we have put our past behind us and that we don't ever want to return to our past. And that's also kind of why we want to win this thing against our rival, because we do not want to possibly get stuck going back to that world because we are way past it. And we're like, we wouldn't bring anybody here. Why would you bring somebody here? Leave your past behind you. We don't need anybody to do that, right? And so I think we kind of scoff at the person and then we just move on. And I think that's it. I think that's the whole prompt for it because we have what we need, right? Moving on. Next card, the Queen. Whoa, cool art. You were bruised and injured in a training duel gone wrong, and you struggled to find your magic for several weeks. A professor took pity on you and tried to help you, though you're training without the magic. How did you cope with the loss? What mental block did you have to overcome to get your magic back? Who hurt you, and was it an accident? Which professor helped you, and did you appreciate their help? Oh man, so I forgot to mention that maybe it was our rival that we walked in on eating food, and maybe his parents gawked at us as well. Like they also think that they're better than everybody. I totally picturing this character kind of like a weird Malfoy looking character. You know what I mean? Like their parents think they're the best, and like they were here, and so they're like lecturing their son. They're like talking to him like, you better win, you better become the best. You know what I mean? And we're like, yeah, don't want that in our lives. So that kind of like extends it even a little bit more. You know what I mean? But I'm going to draw another Major Arcana card to see maybe how this duel went wrong, and was it with this guy, the Hanged Man? I don't remember this one, so. The Hanged Man represents a period of voluntary suspension, surrender, and sacrifice to gain a new perspective. Rather than negative, it actually signifies a complete pause, releasing control and releasing at life from a different angle. The Hanged Man happens when you feel stuck. So like we're stuck because we don't have our magic anymore, but it's about pausing for a perspective. So I think we struggled and we struggled. First of all, I gotta write this. The Queen. We struggled and we struggled, and we really wanted to get our magic back, and we were struggling for like half the semester trying to train with magic, and it wasn't working because every time it would hurt us. And then it wasn't until we accepted the fact that we don't always need this magic, right? We like accepted it, and we had a different perspective on it. Like whenever we got to the school, we started to use our magic to do everything, to like get our food, to like turn pages of a book, to like all kinds of stuff. And then when we couldn't do it, it was such a stress. But then we went back to normal, and we kind of started doing those normal things. And as we were doing them like a normal person, we realized that doing them normal and with magic, right? They slowly started to just work, and our magic maybe even got a little bit stronger. And maybe there was a teacher who had to help us realize this. Like you don't always need magic. Sometimes it's about observance and acceptance. And I think we did appreciate their help. But I think it's one of those classic things where like at first we were like, man, screw you, you know? I want to see, brief Major Arcana meanings is in the back. Looky here, y'all, that's cool. So you don't have to Google them like I just did. You could just swoop right over here. That's cool. All right. Faculty and staff generator. So basically goes up to 20. Let's roll a d20. Which staff helped us? An arcane counselor. That makes sense. 12, a very unlucky arcane counselor. So maybe they've dealt with this before, and that's how they were able to help. Cool, that makes sense. All right, and lastly, in our first year, what happened? The 1, okay? The 1 is you attempted portal magic for the first time, and it came naturally to you. All you had to do was envision a place, and you could open the portal. Where did your first portal go? The 1 portal attempt went wrong, and what scar did it leave on you? And have you recovered? Major Arcana, the star. Ooh. I mean, I'm not even going to think about, where it went or what it. I think maybe it was in the middle of the night, and it took its way up on top of this hill, and we could see all the beautiful stars, right? And maybe there's like some girl maybe they were talking to a little bit, and then we're like, hey, we want to take you to a nice place. And so we try to open another portal, but it doesn't work, and it like fizzles out, and it hurts us, and we get a scar. Where do we get a scar from? I'm just looking at the art on this here card. Maybe even this one. It'd be classic to put it on our face, like a first year scar to like just remind us of how things. And maybe the scar is in the shape of a star even, like on our cheek. We got a little cheek scar, trying to impress some girl to take her up on the hill to look at all the stars. And she probably had to help us. She took us to the med bay to help us get better and stuff. And I want to also say that our rival was probably there, seen it and laughed at us. For sure. It was like, haha, you don't know how to use magic yet type deal. Just made us mad. All right, that's our first year. Before we can move on, we have to draw 3 cards for our rival. I like it is, and I'm just going to write them down over here. Dang. Year 1, they got the 8, the King, and the Knight. And we don't have to go over what happens to them. Just got to write it down because it's going to matter in the end. And I think for year 2, we're actually going to use a prompt out of the other book just for some spice, I think. I don't want to make... All right, but what does it say now? We have a break between our first and second year. How do we spend our downtime? Did you miss having access to magic, or did you remain at Brackroot Academy? What did your rival do during this time? Our rival definitely went home and got lectured by his parents to be better and do better. And they like checked all of his homework and lectured him about his grades and all their kinds of stuff. They're like super harsh to the guy. We stayed here because we left all of our family and everyone else that we knew behind. We just stayed here and relaxed and enjoyed the castle and enjoyed the free time that we had to be able to look at stuff. And I think even we probably studied a little bit, just to kind of see, because we still don't know exactly what we're good at. We don't know what our leadership thing here even is, right? It's such a general thing. We know that we can do portals, which is cool, and we know that we're powerful at basic magic because we had to go through all that stuff, but that's kind of it. So we kind of just studied a little bit, all the different practices of magic. All right, year 2 is cups, and we're going to draw 3 of them from cups, but our middle card is going to go out of the other book for sure. So let's just flip that bad boy over, do a quick little one of these one time. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. Nice. I think now that we're in the gameplay loop, it's probably going to go by pretty fast, but I think getting here took a while. That's okay. Okay, so our first cup is the 2. Low roll, boys, low roll. Most of the woods surrounding the academy. Oh, let's read this too. Things take a darker turn as you enter your second year. Good to know. Most of the woods surrounding the academy are off limits due to its dangerous mystical beasts attracted to the speaking gem. You visited the woods your second year during the night with several other students. Third years swore it would be safe, but it wasn't. Which creatures tried to eat your magic? Which spell did you cast to protect yourself? What did the visit cost you, and how were you punished? Sheesh. Okay, let's draw a major card here. 13. Death. Oh man. Let's look here. 13 is release, decay, lingering, mortality, and sleep. So, has to be a girl we were trying to impress. I mean, first of all, yeah. So, let's roll a d20 real quick for her name. Who is this girl? 5. That's just good stories. Sigrid. Sigrid. I like that. It's very Viking. Oh, and I've this whole time, I've been forgetting to do the rival circle thing. You guys probably noticed, didn't you? I've been forgetting this whole time. Whenever you draw major arcana cards, you're supposed to see if it goes, right? So maybe now we'll start here in year 2. This is the 13, which means that our relationship with the rival goes up for some reason. But we came here I put a little heart there, Sigrid, to try and impress Sigrid. And on the death card, maybe our relationship with him goes up because he sees the powerful death magic that we're about to cast on these friggin' creatures. So creatures tried to eat our magic. We're in the dark woods. Maybe they're like reverse mermaids. You know, leg bottom fish top. They emerged from the darkened sea in the woods. And they all came at us with, maybe they had fangs instead of they were like reverse piranha mermaids, you know what I mean? And that's just right where my brain went, so we'll go with it. And they all came at us, right? And maybe we tried to protect Sigrid, and they were just eating our magic, you know, just. And in my sense, they're eating it as in just taking it to the face. We're just casting regular spells at them, and they're just taking it to the face, and it's not working. So we call upon something that we actually learned during our summer break through the years. And I think maybe it was some kind of forbidden magics that we kind of cast, and it is going to deal with his death card. Maybe it's decay. That's a decay spell. Decantus Moralis, you know? Lavate las manos, you know? Decantus Moralis. So we cast decay on these creatures. Maybe it takes a lot out of us to do that. So maybe that's what it costs us. But all these creatures just decay into old age and fall onto the ground, but it pulls all the life force out of us to do that. And so we pass out on the ground. And then I think our rival sees how cool that was and how powerful it was. And so I think Xavier Crowley actually picks us up off the ground and carries us back to the school. So maybe Sigrid thought it was cool, you know, I protect everybody, but now she's kind of he's casting dark magics? That's not good, you know what I mean? So there's also a little bit of that going. Very interesting first card, I think. But we're also going to go up to 12 with our rival. All right, next card is going to come from the other book, the One of Cups. What in heck? Okay, we want Delia's years 1 and 2, and then we want the 1, which is represented by the ace here. Let's see. This is from the expansion book. The most charismatic student in your house was an insufferable show-off, but their hold on the other Delias would weaken the presence of your power. You'd caught them roaming the dormitory grounds late one night, wild-eyed and anxious, yet methodical, as if compelled to move, muttering incantations. When they passed by your window, a fine network of vines trailed across the wall along their path. Who were they? When you later questioned them, did they seem to remember those episodes? And why were they so defensive about their strange behavior? Oh, is it Delilah? Is she this crazy charismatic person of our house? I want to ask a yes or no question. So if you're not familiar with solo games, yes or no's, you just roll a dice, right? And you say yes or no. So in this case, 1 through 3 is going to be no, but 4 through 6 is yes. So is it Sigrid? That's a 3. So no, it wasn't Sigrid. Okay, good to know. Someone from our house. That would have been cool. That would have been a cool little story bit. It felt like a stretch though to me, so that's why I asked the question. I think that whomever this is and whatever's going on, let's pull us a card. Major Arcana, Strength. So yeah, that to me says that they do remember these episodes, but they're defensive about it because they're practicing their magic at night and they don't want anyone to know. And they're super strong person, and that's why they're so charismatic. But the only reason they're charismatic is because they have confidence, because they practice every single night. It's kind of what that says. Strength. Okay, interesting. All right, next card. The Page of Cups. It's, whoa, dark page. You lost your reflection. At first you didn't notice, but another student pointed it out to you. The student suggested your reflection had been stolen by someone wishing to impersonate you and lure it back. You'd have to steal someone else's to make your reflection jealous. Whose reflection did you steal? When your reflection returned, did it reveal what it kept away, who stole it, and what did they do while impersonating? Interesting. There's a lot to unpack there. Someone trying to impersonate. We have to steal someone else's reflection. When they get it back, do we learn why they were impersonating? Somebody playing practical jokes on us. We don't have very many characters in our story yet besides Xavier and Delilah and the strong kid. I mean, chances are that it was Xavier that steals our shadow just to play some kind of practical joke on it. Although they do like us currently. Although we did get an 8 on that Major Arcana card, so now I think maybe I gotta roll it down. We're back at 11. Well, let's pull another one. Justice. Intuition, secrets, silence, and uncertainty. This looks like the strong guy to me. He's got a sword, you know, whoever was practicing with strength the night before, or earlier that year. Maybe they were worried that we were going to tell their secret or something. So they took our shadow in the middle of the night and held it against our will. Like, look, I'm only going to give it back if you promise to not tell anybody what you've seen me doing. And we're like, for sure. And then maybe to get it back, maybe Xavier was like, I'll give it to you if you show me how to do that really cool destruction magic. And then maybe we're like, nah, dude, we ain't going to teach you that because you're going to use the destruction magic for bad. And I don't want you to do that. And then so maybe Sigrid lets us borrow her shadow to get ours back. But I think now the leader of our house, me and that guy have big issues now because he stole our shadow and is keeping shit from people. We got issues with it, so good to know. Okay, that's that for that. Is that cups? It is. Let's draw the 3 cups for our rival. They got so much higher than me. That's not good. 7, knight again, and 10. So not good. All right, we got 2 years left. I definitely liked the way that year started, the second year. But then I was struggling a little bit on those other prompts a little bit, I definitely think I was. Maybe it'd be good to do a little bit more setup, and flesh out each character a little bit, write them down. I think that taking your time even more than what I am and actually building on these characters and stuff could be very beneficial to you and your story whenever you play this, because it's going to give you more to draw from. And I think that's really cool. I'm definitely not writing enough down. Anyways, that ends year 2. We're going to go into year 3, but I want to see... Draw 3 cards when you finish studying year 2 material. Shuffle the Major Arcana cards back into the deck. Right. And then it goes to this. Before we even go to winter break, what the heck is this? You had strange dreams during the last month of the school year. They became clearer as time wore on, and you realized it was the speaking gem calling to you. One night you couldn't resist it any longer and felt compelled to visit the speaking gem after midnight. It showed you a secret path where others couldn't follow you. Your rival arrived at the same time that you did. You both touched the speaking gem simultaneously, and it said, "What you seek is hidden in the Grand Rotunda." The Grand Rotunda. The Grand Rotunda rests on a natural platform near the south end of the campus. Did you visit the Rotunda, or did you let your rival go alone? If you visited, what did you find hidden in the Rotunda? Was it something you could take? Was it a door, an idea, a view, a person, a symbol? And it just goes to year 3. Maybe we got a yin and yang kind of thing going on with this guy. If we both touch it at the same time, maybe there's a slight fusion where both of our minds kind of link and we could see through each other's eyes and shit. Because he's super dark, right? And we're just creative and bright and wanting to lead stuff and whatever. And so maybe our minds fuse and that's whenever it talks to us. So then we let go of this fucking thing. The Grand Rotunda. I don't know what that is. It's hard for me to picture that in my mind. I don't know what a rotunda is. But we go to this place, is what I'm just saying. Maybe I picture a hill with a gate underneath the hill, and we go into a door, and inside there's a pedestal, and on the pedestal maybe there's some kind of a book, right? And we we both get there at the same time, and we're like talking. We're like, do we want to take this? It's probably forbidden magic. You know what I mean? It was hidden away here for a reason. The gate was probably locked. We had to like cast magic to even get in here. And then we get in this area, and we're like talking to each other. We're like, do we take this freaking book? And of course, Xavier's like, of course we take the book. It's good. It's use its power. And we're like, don't seem good, man. Maybe we do take the book though. Maybe we take it, but maybe like we can't open it yet. But we have the book. We can't open it, but we have it. So like, just kind of leads more for something for us to be able to open and use later. You know, maybe we both try to open it. We can't. Okay, now we're on to Pentacles. So only a little bit left here. Only a little bit left here. We're in the house of Delilah's. Creative, perfectionist, obsessed. I don't know. I'm always just doing this, just trying to tell stories. Like, kind of just putting things together in kind of a weird, fun little story format, you know? It's like, I don't know. That's what I feel like it's all about. I'm starting to feel a little bit creatively drained though, so I can see where this might work for 2 sessions. I think stopping like right now would be perfect, because then you could like, at least maybe doing the winter break thing, and then coming back later and doing this the latter half of the year, the last 2 years. So winter break, let's see here. I've been dreaming I'm running up the tower stairs, spiral after spiral, the sounds of my shoes and stones, my heartbeat, my breath echo all around me. But I pause a few floors from the top and I look below. I see a shadow following, running the same gauntlet, rising to the top. The shadow pauses and I sense it will lean out and look up to meet my gaze. Something compels me to return to my task, continue climbing. The shadow below gains, and when I put my hand on the door at the top of the stairs, another hand follows over mine. In the dream, I open the door with my rival, as I was always meant to do. That's crazy. With the weird thing that I just said about us being yin and yang is crazy. And then we have a whole, from the desk of Headmaster Elias is the winter break host. Winter break at the academy is much more relaxed than the rigorous studies of the school, yeah. It's kind of fun. And then I think we actually have prompts. Come inside, it's cold out there. This expansion works best during years 3 or 4. So actually you don't do it after years. Thankfully I didn't read that whole. This expansion includes optional rules for studying with a professor and new prompts that focus on interactions with your rival during the short break between semesters. This expansion only requires the major arcana. Interesting. And then you pull, you have some winter break prompts. Talks about how to use them. It even has 2-player, it looks like 2-player prompts. That's cool. Man. Okay, I want to see very quickly. You guys can, I think, probably already see what I'm getting at here, but I want to see where this ends. The final exam before graduation. So we're going to skip a little bit just to see how these mechanics work. Will you be bested by your rival, or will you prevail as one of the greatest students the Academy has ever seen? Do you feel like you studied enough? Do you trust your rival to play fair? Are you nervous, or do you even want to win? Part 1 is Spells and Curses, the deck of wands. A showcase of wands flourishes, magical tethering, control of the mystical energy of the caster's will. The exam pits you and your rival against each other for the duration of 4 complex tasks. Okay, so those are the 4 tasks. Do you like face each other? How do you determining the results? Using your notes, build 2 decks for each year of study. One for you and one for your rival. These decks consist of the minor arcana cards that you drew during that year. Use the deck of wands from year 1 for part 1, cups for 2, etc. You should end with 8 decks that have 3 cards, or 2 if you're playing shorter. Beginning with the decks from your first year and proceeding through the other decks in order. Reveal only the top card of your deck and your rivals. Compare them. The student with the higher card wins that year's part of the exam. Man, he was pulling some high cards that whole time. Like I said, 8, king, and knight. We got 10, 1. For year 2, we got 1 and 2. We would lose. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And then, depending on whatever you win, this one just has you lose, you win, you tie. The graduation outcomes, right? But this expansion actually has complete endings for like, it even has a whole roadmap for an ending flowchart if you want to check that out, because there's way more threads in there. But also, each one of these is something. So the thread, you could win spells, win potions, win rituals, and win the duel. This is win everything. This is when you win 3, but you lose 1. This is, win 2, lose 2, and then it also has an ending for the rival as well. So the endings in this expansion book are just honestly kind of sick. Honestly, I just kind of wanted to see how that little bit's gonna end. All right, I've been recording for 2.5 hours, everybody, so here's my final thoughts here. All right, we did half of a game. If you want to see me come back and finish this on camera, make sure to leave a like. All right, then here in a week or 2, maybe I'll come back and I'll do part 2. All right, could be really fun, but I'm gonna leave it right here. I'm not gonna draw any more cards or nothing. All right, just to say, unless a couple months go by and then I want to finish the story by myself, I might do that. So you better leave a like, all right, so you don't miss it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so this book is very cool. I think that one of the things about these is that it takes a lot of creative energy and imagination. So you're going to feel exhausted after a little bit of play. I think that the echoes of Lost Electives, it's definitely not needed. Like, you could play this game just with this one, but with this other book, it makes it so much better. Those endings in the back and the extra little mechanics, honestly, are super cool. I love the houses. I love the world that Cassie Mothwin has built. I like being able to play in that world. And it's so weird because there isn't even like a giant lore dump. You know, a lot of these books, they'll give you like huge lore dumps at the front. Now you got a deal in it. But it's just a little bit, you know, just like a little letter, a couple little notes, and then inside of the individual prompts themselves have the lore dumps. And I think that that's cool, right? So there's some lore you're going to get to explore and some that you're not. And I think that that's fantastic, right? The expansion book, as you can see, is twice the size as the first one. So Cassie obviously realized the potential that their game had and went back and did some really cool crap with it. And I think that's awesome. I'm going to do a full written review of this on the website, probably in a couple weeks or so, if you want to check that out, all right? I just think that this is fantastic, especially for 2 players. I think if you and your partner really both like, you know, this magical college kind of world thing, you should get this and you guys should play it together, because I think that would just be just a fun thing, all right? I really do. Negatives. I don't know. I really don't think there is any. I mean, there isn't a lot of art in here, but it isn't walls of text, you know? There is art in places, and I think that that's cool. A lot of times I'll talk shit about games that are just walls of text and hard to read, but I didn't experience that at all in this. I really didn't. I think that the way that it's laid out and formatted, it doesn't feel like walls of text. I mean, maybe this page kind of feels like walls of text, but then you get right over to the next page and you've got some art and some separators. It's pretty good. So the only negative I think would be is that you ain't going to be able to play all of it. If you want to do it really good, you want to write down all your classmates' names and roll for them and do all that stuff and take your time, because it's going to give you more to draw on. And if you want to do it that way, you're going to want to play this, you know, 1 academy session in 2 or 3 sittings. Even if you do 1 year and a winter break, or, you know what I mean, whatever, do 2 years like I did, you're going to at least want to do it in 2 games. So you're going to get a little exhausted, creatively exhausted. All right. It's a thing. I'm telling you. I think that's my only gripe, and it's not even a gripe. It's just like, you know, just prepare yourself. I think that's it. It's really good. It's a really good game. Cassie, you've done awesome with this, truthfully. So if you want to come on the show in the next month or so and get interviewed here on the Grouch Couch, let me know if you watch this, all right? And everyone else watching, you could leave a like on this video to tell Cassie to do it, all right? Just saying. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And I also want to give, once again, a big thanks to my Ko-Fi supporters and my YouTube channel members. You guys rock, all right? Really, really thank you so much. And for now, everybody, take a seat on the couch and roll initiative by subscribing, or at least until you find yourselves in the Dark Academy yourselves, with the speaking gem calling out to you in your dreams and your rival following you step by step. Roll on that, weirdos, and I'll see you next time. A toodaloo.
Just like, share, and subscribe. Just like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, like, share, like, share, subscribe.